Hello and welcome to the second top 4 match of the One Piece TCG EB01 Japan National Championships. My name is Atrocious. You can also call me Jake, and like I mentioned, we've got the second top 4 match. We, in the last video, did the first top 4 match. If you missed that one, you can check out the iCard up top or the Japan Nationals playlist, as I have commentated every single round up to this point and will do every single round for my own practice and learning of the meta, watching these fun games. It's been super fun to see the EB01 meta in Showcase, as it's the first event. But before we get going in this, just want to be fully transparent and say that this is not my stream. This is not my content that I'm watching. This is the official One Piece TCG live stream. This is where they house all of the Japanese events if you're curious on watching them, either right now or going forward. So you can get the link in the description below if you don't want to hear my commentary. But aside from that, going in this one, it's going to be another Sakazuki match in this, and I believe that the opponent is going to be Katakuri. So it looks like the Sakazuki won the first or second, had to reveal the leader, and it looks like, I think the Katakuri is going to be going first in this one. Yes, the going first marker has been placed next to the Katakuri. So already a good start for the Sakazuki. We'll see how this goes. Sakazuki, easily the most dominant deck in the OP06 and ST13 recent metas, and we'll see if that is showcased as well in EB01. In this tournament, there were 29 participants originally invited to the national championships, and 11 of them were Sakazuki, so very much a well-represented deck going into this, and there were 2, I think, in the top 4, so pretty good showcase. I think 3 were in the top 8, and so the Katakuri's hand looks like they're going to keep this. They've got a Gadatsu in there, a new Charlotte Flampe, the 2K counter from EB01, a Charlotte Pudding Searcher, a Reject event card, and a Capone Beije. Pretty decent hand to start out because you do have that Flampe and also the Pudding to be able to play. And going first, I'd imagine that they'll play the Pudding turn 1, and if you don't find anything within reason off the Pudding, you can swing with it on your second turn. So the Sakazuki, after the mulligan, they're stuck with 2 Surus, an Ice Age, a Rob Lucci, and also a new EB01 card, that 5-cost 2K counter T-Bone right there. So we'll see if T-Bone comes down in this game. We haven't seen it used anything other than a 2K counter at this point, but maybe, depending on what they draw into, really, through the leader effect and such, we may see it come down in this game. I'd be interested to see it utilized, but we've got to get into this game first. The Katakuri player going first in this one. Stato desu. So the Katakuri starts off resting 1, playing that Pudding, like I mentioned, looking at the top 4 and finding a Big Mom Pirates or Sanji card. So I don't think they found any at all, because you can't find Pudding, a rare occurrence in this one. The Sakazuki whiffing on the Pudding. I would say like 85% of their deck is Big Mom Pirates, so whiffing on that one, especially bottom decking stuff like an Okiku and the You're the One That Should Disappear, definitely hurts to bottom deck those. So we'll see how the Katakuri continues to advance after that blunder, and the Sakazuki deciding what they want to discard off this leader effect. So it's going to be that Ice Age, going to grab, I think, an 8-cost Gecko Moira. So both players kind of stunted in the beginning. The shining rays, though, is that the Katakuri player did just top deck a Charlotte Paris Pharaoh, so high likelihood that they play that. Going that 5 counter, or that 5k swing from the Katakuri, going to be countered with the Suru, and then play that Charlotte Paris Pharaoh, and we'll see how the Sakazuki reacts. They do find a Rebecca, but your Rebecca doesn't really have good options to play down a character off of the Rebecca effect, and so using the 8 cost Moira, one of the 2 in their hand to use off of leader effect. Going to draw Tashigi. The Tashigi could be real good, so you might want to play that one. But going to be playing the Rob Lucci, just getting rid of both of them off of the leader swing. The leader swing going to be minusing the Peros Pharaoh, and then the Rob Lucci KOing it. And so with the on KO effect, look at the top 3 cards, find a Big Mom Pirate, put it in your hand. They do find 10 drop Big Mom, which is so good for this deck. They need to survive up to that point though, so getting to 5 done now. Going to be playing the Gadatsu immediately and just taking out that Rob Lucci, saying, you know what, I don't want that guy on the field. I want to take this game a little bit slower, control your board like you're controlling mine, so then I can play Big Mom and kind of just take life as we go. So swinging the leader for 5 and going to be asking for either counter or a life. You could discard, I don't know if you want to discard the Tashigi, to be honest. You might actually take this life here just because you have 2 2K counters in hand already, and so taking that, it's going to be an Ice Age. Now, no trigger off that Ice Age because it only KOs at 3 cost or less. Going to be drawing the Great Eruption for turn, so you do get some stuff to be able to lower the cost for the Gadatsu, and I don't know exactly where you go from here. You'd probably want to start off with the leader effect, pitching something. It might be this Ice Age, but you honestly kind of want to save the Ice Age because you know that the 10 drop Big Mom is in hand, and if you let that 12k swing, it's going to be tough. But pitching that Ice Age, maybe not seeing a better option, getting that brand new. They've got 6 Dawn to work with here, so going to be putting 1 towards a Tashigi, looking at the top 5 and finding a Navy card. Can't grab that Rebecca here. I see a Hina, starter deck Hina, a Suru. It looks like a Rob Lucci. Can't grab the Rob Lucci, so it's either the starter deck Hina or the Houndblaze. You don't have a Houndblaze in hand right now, so it would be reasonable to go get it in this one, but with the cards that you have in hand at this point, I don't know if you have a really good way to get the Gadatsu to 2. You may just play the Houndblaze, but without using any swings on it. So going to be swinging 5, it looks like here at lead, and then minusing the Gadatsu by 1. If you play the Great Eruption, you'll be able to Houndblaze and bottom deck the Gadatsu, but it almost feels kind of wasted on that Houndblaze. So the Katakuri player looks like they're going to get a trigger here potentially. It could be a Satori. So the Satori I really like as something to play, getting rid of the reject because you want to put pressure and keep these bodies on the board, so that keeps it a little while longer. The Sakazuki responding with that Great Eruption like I mentioned, and getting the Rob Lucci, probably minus the Gadatsu if I had to take a guess, because that's what, if they use Houndblaze, that's what they're going to be bottom decking. And so 4 Dawn left in this turn. There's a couple different options that you can do, and opting for the Rob Lucci again, saying, you know what, I need to put up characters on the field just like you, so I'm going to get rid of that Gadatsu right there and try to pace. I do like that play more because you save the Houndblaze for using it on the Tashigi later, right, to get the Tashigi to swing 5 at lead, and it just continues to help you apply that pressure. So very good job, in my opinion, from the Sakazuki. And now the Katakuri goes in. They draw a 7 drop Big Mom, it looks like. So starting off swinging 5, I believe this is the 7 Dawn turn, if I'm not mistaken. So looks like they're about to telegraph the 7 drop Linlin on this turn coming down onto the field. And so with this bear swing of 5, you know you're going to get 1 more, and so you have a little bit of counter in hand. Thinking about pitching the Rebecca or this, I think that's Helmeppo that they have. It is, no, I'm sorry, it's the brand new, it's the alternate art brand new that we don't have yet in English, and I'm kind of mad about it because I like that brand new art. Anyways, going to be resting that 7 for the mom, and so having the opponent choose whether or not they want to give or take a life. And it looks like they might actually take this life, but they're going to give it. They're going to say, you know what, I think I'm going to make this a little bit slower. I thought they motioned to give it to the opponent, but nobody's moving. So this is an interesting spot too, and something that I think a lot of Katakuri players can learn as they take this life pitching the Kuzan, is a lot of these Katakuri players that we've seen in this tournament on this stream play the Charlotte Linlin 7-drop before they swing with their characters. They didn't end up swinging with Satori there, so my point that I was going to make is completely sound like a dingus now at this point, but I don't know. I probably would have swung the Satori in all honesty, because it allows them to either get a card or get a life, and especially with the bottom decking effects, I know they're probably going to use all their bottom decking efforts to get rid of this 7-cost Linlin, but it allows your Satori maybe to stay alive a little bit, or maybe you're just confident enough in the Satori surviving and not getting bottom decked that you decide not to swing at it, so then they can't swing at it with their leader or their Rob Lucci or anything like that to board wipe essentially. So interesting plays. This 5k swing though is going to hit the Neko Mamushi off of that trigger. That OP06 card going to be very, very good, and that 6k Lucci is going to hit a life as well. You're the one that should disappear, and then playing the Gecko Moira to... That was real interesting. It looked like they played the Kuzan to draw one, and then off of the Moira, because you get to choose 2 characters to play, going to do the brand new second. I do like that play. Gives you a little bit of options and information on deciding what you want to grab off the brand new. It just happened so fast that I didn't even notice. And so the Neko Mamushi coming down because the opponent was at 3 life or less. A great card in dual color opponent leaders in those matchups. Now at 9 Dawn, you have another 7-drop Big Mom, so could end up seeing that hit the field. Can't have the 10-drop yet, but could be an interesting situation on what you want to do. If you wanted to play the Gadatsu, you could get rid of the Kuzan and still have 4 Dawn left to be able to get rid of things. I think actually, I don't know if you would get rid of the Rob Lucci first before the Kuzan. Maybe the Kuzan, because then you could swing into the Rob Lucci if you wanted to, if that makes sense. So thinking about where they want to go here, it looks like it's a pretty close game up to this point. A really aggressive game, I feel like, at times. And so resting that 7, starting off with that 7-drop Linlin. And as I was trying to say last turn, you start off with the Linlin to really make them think, okay, if I take this life, can I counter out of all these swings that are incoming, or do I just give it to them? And so like last turn when, you know, the life just happened, they were like, okay, I'm backing off now. So it basically was a swing in itself. So starting off by 7 right here, putting the Capone Beije on the bottom. That card is going to be disgustingly good at the end of this game. And so looking at the 7, you'd have to commit 2 cards and just going to take that life. Going to be an Amano Murakuma coming in off of that. No trigger from the Amano Murakuma. That would be the activate main effect if you're curious on what that trigger is. So no 2s or 1-cost characters on the opponent's side, so no reason to try to use that trigger. It would just be a wasted card. And so the Katakuri player now thinking of where is the best place to put this on. Do you put it first on the Neko Mamushi? Do you put it second on the Satori, or do you save it for the Linlin and try to hit for game? There are no blockers on the field, so going to be starting out. I think what you want to do probably is go Neko Mamushi and Satori. They've been taking life like crazy, so you maybe want to try to bait out those 2Ks if you can. Maybe they don't have enough 2Ks in the hand. We know, based on the information that we're seeing, that they have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8K in blocking. So no win is coming this turn, I think, for the Katakuri, but they're going to adopt the Dawn to the Lin, and so it's going to be swinging 9, I believe. And so getting 3 cards, the Rebecca, the T-Bone, and the Subaru to hit 10. Going to be swinging these characters at first at the brand new there with the Satori. And let's see, if they had instead swung the Satori at life, no, they would have been able to get out of it, because you had a brand new, you had a Helmeppo and a Suru. I just want to look at that real quick to see if they'd be able to do it. So taking out the brand new is a good call, and then the Nekomamushi going at life because you don't have a Dawn to commit to try to take out the Rob Lucci. The Sakazuki player is playing real fast with 10 Dawn available. I think they're looking to try to win the game at this point. Only 4 cards in hand, 3 6K worth of counter in the Katakuri player's hand, and 2 lives that you have to worry about. So using leader effect to do the Amano Murakuma, going to grab a Brook, a new EB01 card that we've also seen included in Sakazuki, and starting off by swinging 7, going to bait that You're the One That Should Disappear card to get them to 8. So keeping the Sakazuki thinking on what they want to do at this point to try to finish out this game. You don't have enough counter and enough blockers to be able to stop a next series of swings unless you clear the board. And even then, 200 million volts Amaru may be active that you have to worry about. So I think that's 3 Dawn right there to swing 8, right? I think there's 3 Dawn right there. So swinging 8, I presume, at lead could be interesting to see how they play this out. Let's see, they have 7 Dawn left. So if they have 7 Dawn left, then this is actually a 7K swing at lead. So you could pitch your whole entire hand right here to get out of this. And so a Rush Usopp, they're showing Rush Usopp on the screen. They don't have a Rush Usopp, right? I don't think so. I think that's a Brook, a Tashigi, a Helmeppo. No Rush Usopps coming in on this one. I think they're maybe showing off all the different Rush characters that Sakazuki could play, but I have yet to see a Sakazuki actually playing the Rush Usopp, and also whatever that last card was. I think it was like Rob Lucci or something like that. So maybe just having a little bit of fun on the commentary. Checking out the discard pile, still having to determine this 7,000 power swing. They could get out of this again if they pitch their whole hand, but that would leave them prone to the game. You know you have a Beijing in life. This is the big thing. So if you're worried about the Usopp coming down or something like that, which truthfully I don't think you should be, I think you're fine to be able to survive this turn. I think this game is Katakuri's. You pitch the hand, right? They swing 1, they take it. They swing another, you take it, activate the trigger to turn off their last character to not be able to swing, or leader, and then you just win the game right there. So unless there's something missing, I mean, it kind of looks like that there's a 3rd Dawn here, but if they committed 1 here and 2 here, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, this can only be a 7K swing. Now, the real question is, would you have enough Dawn and characters available to be able to clap back? So I think you do this. Yes, you pitch the hand. The Beijing is the last life right here, and so they are going to pitch it, are going to get rid of it. It's going to be 8. We'll see if the Sakazuki actually pivots the game plan to clearing board at times. So going to be using Houndblaze to swing 5 at lead. Going to be taking it, a potential triggered, no trigger with the flop. And so going to be that Beijing turning off the Sakazuki, cannot attack. And so you have 5 Dawn left. Is there a Rebecca in the hand still? I actually can't remember, and just going to be passing the turn, and I think that's going to be it. I know there's going to be a lot of nice YouTube comments, right? Nobody's going to say anything mean about the Sakazuki losing to a essentially a Capone Beijing, but to be fair, right, let's give all fairness. The Katakuri did use their life manipulation on the leader effect to put that Beijing at the bottom. And so playing to their outs at that point, although it feels really bad, great job out of that Katakuri player. Also had a really nice set of life, having the Satori and the Neko Mamushi as well. Very, very good. A great job. And so that solidifies our top four. We know that our top four advancing into the finals is going to be Uta versus Katakuri. So stick around. I think shortly after this video is posted, the finals are going to be posted. So if you're seeing this right now and you're finishing this video, check out the channel if it's been like an hour that this video has been posted, and you'll see and be able to check out the finals. Thank you again so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, I hope to see you in the finals.